Welcome, everyone. I'm Patrice, and this is Navigating the Journey, Episode 12, There's Triumph in Your Purpose. Richard Farmer has a story about perspective that I really enjoy. There's a man walking down the street in the middle of a big city, and he comes upon a construction site. Bulldozers and earth-moving machines are busy on the site. People were working hard. He came across 3 men in a ditch. He asked the first man, "What are you doing?" "I'm digging a ditch," the first man said. The protagonist asked the second man, "What are you doing?" "We're digging a ditch for the water line for that building going up over there," the second man said. The protagonist asked the third man, "What are you doing?" The man looked up and replied, "We're building a cathedral. It will be a big, beautiful cathedral with 5 big tall spires and beautiful stained glass windows. It will seat 500 people. It will be the most beautiful church in this city. That's what we're doing." I believe this story shows how purpose can be driven from both vision and perspective. All 3 of these men understood there's a purpose for what they were doing. But their perspective and vision resulted in 3 very different answers. Which person are you in the ditch? Let's navigate. Finding your purpose takes time and can be a lifelong journey for many people. I remember being in my 20s when I began to feel like there was more that I should be giving to life, more that I should be doing. I believed I had purpose, but I had no clue what it was or how to figure it out. Up until that point, I had lived very much like the first man in the story. I felt like as long as I was waking up, going to class, getting to work on time, and taking care of my responsibilities, I was fulfilling what was intended. I had no vision of what was possible beyond what was required. If the cathedral wasn't directly in front of me, I wasn't able to see how there was more to contribute to. When you have this type of outlook, you tend to give life the bare minimum of what you have. There's no vision to see what you're capable of accomplishing because you only see the day-to-day expectations. In order to find your purpose, you must be willing to see beyond what is required. Purpose exists in the things that motivate you and bring you joy, but it's hard to find motivation without purpose. The purpose in the story could be seen as the same for all of the men, but it was the vision that made the outcome different. When you're merely digging a ditch, you'll miss the bigger picture. Your purpose may be similar on the surface, but your vision and perspective is what will differentiate how it's fulfilled. Maybe you're like the second man. You understand that your purpose is more than just existing within what's required of you. You understand that there's something meant for you to achieve, but you're willing to accept whatever life tells you that is, versus dictating it for yourself. You're the person that knows you're doing more than digging a ditch. You also understand your purpose involves others. Notice when the second man answered, he didn't say I, he said we. Although you know those things to be true about your purpose, you tend to look for it to be fulfilled in the ways that you help others. For instance, if a friend told you they wanted to start a nonprofit for at-risk teens, you would hit the ground running, making plans and executing for your friend. You would dig the ditch for the water line. Meanwhile, you've ignored the things your purpose is calling you to do. You'll convince yourself that perhaps the ways you help others fulfill their dreams is in fact your purpose. This outlook tends to cause tunnel vision, and you reduce what's possible to a singular thing, like placing the water line for the building. When your outlook about your purpose is one with tunnel vision, it's hard to truly understand what you're ultimately living to achieve. You understand there's meaning and things you're meant to accomplish, but you tend to only see what's directly in front of you, thus missing the things around you that are showing you more is intended for you. Your purpose can be much more than a singular thing. It's important not to box yourself in or shrink what you're capable of. If you need an example of what taking the limits off your purpose looks like, look no further than the third man in the story. When you find the thing or things that give you a deep sense of meaning, bring you joy, and you don't care who does or doesn't see, then you found your purpose. With fulfilling your purpose comes achievement. The triumph comes from what you do and knowing that it contributes to making a difference. The third man is a great example of there being triumph in your purpose. If you noticed, he never said he was digging anything. He only saw what he was building. He understood that what he was doing had a greater purpose in the end. When you understand your purpose, you see that you're not digging a ditch, you're building a cathedral. There are no limits to what you can accomplish and whose life you can impact when you're walking the path made specifically for you. The story at the beginning isn't just about 3 men digging a ditch. It's about 3 men who all had a purpose, but only one had the perspective and vision to see it. The people in the story could have been any of us. They could be persons of any race, religion, financial class, or sexual preference. Your purpose isn't determined by any of those things. Don't let ignorance be a barrier. We get one life, and there's meaning and intention in it for us all. Finding your purpose takes persistence. You have to be willing to stumble and start over at times. It takes patience. There will be points where you feel like you've figured it out, only to feel months later like you have absolutely no clue. It takes courage. You have to be okay with walking your path even when others throw roadblocks and try to convince you that you're going the wrong way. Once you find it, embrace and excel in it. No matter what your journey looks like to find the path intended for you, let this story be a reminder that there's triumph in your purpose. Be sure to follow Navigating the Journey on Instagram and Facebook. Share the podcast with at least one person and leave a review wherever you listen. And before we depart, remember, as you navigate, it's okay to stumble over the blocks and step on the stones. Those are temporary detours, and your main road is just ahead.